Mr. Fan.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Director Patel. In a local situation in Maryville, Indiana, within my district, I have a high-intensity drug trafficking area, HIDA, which receives federal funding. That works with the local law enforcement. We are the crossroads of America near Chicago. The drugs that you're talking about are transported through those areas all the time. With these budget cuts, can you talk about how those HIDA and agencies will be funded?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. It's like any other successful mission set that we have at the FBI. And HIDA, I worked on as a terrorism prosecutor as myself. Extremely critical because, like some of the other situations across the country, that region has been recognized, unfortunately, because of the high-intensity drug flow. And in order to countermand it, we have to keep these task forces open, up and running, and funded. But in order to do that, we can't just flood it only with federal funds and federal personnel committed to working with our state and local partners, because that's what makes HIDA successful. My experience in HIDA wasn't in your district, but down in the Southern District of Florida, and I can't imagine it being too different in terms of how we proceed and how to make that successful.
Okay. My next question is, just recently you had a visit to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Just please tell me how that cyber tip line and how that program's future looks with these $500 million cuts.
Hey Patriots, welcome back to Right View Nation. I'm your host, and today we're diving into something major that the mainstream media is completely ignoring. We've got explosive testimony from FBI Director Patel that reveals just how far the administrative state is willing to go to monitor and control our law enforcement officers. Before we get into it, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss when we expose the truth they don't want you to hear. I've been warning you for years about unelected bureaucrats trying to micromanage and monitor our brave law enforcement officers. And now we have proof that the Department of Justice was sending directives to FBI agents demanding they report their 5 accomplishments every single week, treating our heroes like they're in elementary school. These are the men and women on the front lines, protecting our communities, stopping dangerous criminals, and hunting down threats to our nation. And some bureaucrat at the DOJ wanted them filling out weekly reports about their accomplishments during their limited and valuable time that should be spent keeping us safe?
We actually partner wonderfully with NCMEC, and we've committed to allowing our FBI employees to remain there no matter what. We will find a way to fill that mission set, even if, even under the most austere of budget cuts, because what they do is exceptional. If people don't know, they need to go there and see it. It's right in Arlington, Virginia. They find missing children from 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, and they provide treatment to those that have been abused.
Okay.
And so you have my commitment, sir, that we'll do it.
I appreciate that. And according to the domestic terrorism operations sections, the internal tagging system used to track domestic terrorism investigations was eliminated, and the staff of 16 was reduced. Can you tell me that future and where you hold that program?
Sir, if I may, can I get back to you on that in writing, because I'm not familiar with that off my head.
Then in your written testimony, you had talked about cybersecurity. I'm going to tie 2 things together. The FBI agents, are they still currently at the end of every week emailing the 5 things that they've accomplished?
I'm glad you raised that point, sir. We never did that.
Okay.
I stopped
the
that.
FBI agents were never asked to put in their goals in which they accomplished?
The
reason why I say that is because I had a specific conversation at a retirement party of a chief from an agent who expressed to me that after he had chased a car down 8094 who had stabbed a family member, and he left his home and was able to prevent that individual from killing someone else because it was cross state lines, that he had to go back, and then that next day was told he had to fill out his emails of what he accomplished.
That email was sent across government agencies.
So it was sent to the FBI.
It was sent to.
So you just said it was never sent to the FBI. So was it or was it not?
It was sent to the FBI. I, as the director of the FBI, said we are not.
Who sent it?
We are not responding to it. It came from a general account at the department.
Okay, so then my next question is, that information that my FBI agent in my district sent to that agency, how is that information protected?
I'm sorry, are you saying the agent responded to that email?
Are you saying they did not?
I told the workforce not to.
But you just told me that they received the email.
We did.
So without this, let's just assume that they did. Where did that information go and how is it protected?
That information would have only been sent to their immediate supervisor, and every supervisor in the Bureau was told if they received any such information, it is not to be actioned in any way.
So what happened with that information with the supervisors?
I don't know. Well, I'll have to get back to you on that, if any was collected, but if it was,
So you said that the FBI, that a different agency sent that email. What was that agency?
it came from the Department of Justice.
Okay. And those emails never went back to the Department of Justice who requested it?
No, sir.
Okay. And you're 100% confident of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The information that the supervisors had from those agents, where did that go?
That should not have been transmitted anywhere. We got on top of it fast enough where I believe, and
Because you thought it was wrong?
I thought
Why did you prevent it?
because the operational mandate that we have at the Bureau, in my opinion, prohibited the public disclosure of that information across our media.
So to be perfectly clear, the Department of Justice got it wrong.
I'm not speaking for the Department of Justice. As
But you
I
are saying that that directive was in complete conflict of what your procedures and processes are.
My procedures and processes are under the Department of Justice. I'm saying as a subordinate of the Department of Justice, that's where the email came from. I don't know where it came from on top of them.
But your directive was to make sure that the Department of Justice did not get the FBI information,
That no one got it.
except the supervisors. Why would they request it if they would never get it?
Well, the supervisors were told to stand down. What I'm trying to say is when that email came in, we acted as fast as we could, I think the same day, to say we are not in a position to do that. Everybody hit pause till we figure out what to do. And the end result was we at the FBI are not complying with that request to publicly do so. And we told agents that if you feel the need to express that information to your supervisors, only do so on the classified system.
Okay. The information that I received, that personal conversation that I had, that agent didn't seem like he felt the need. He felt it was a directive. I thank you for your forthcoming. I look forward to working with you. The purpose of me bringing up this questioning was to make sure that that information is secure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
I'll
very
double
much.
check.
Mr. Moore.
I yield back.
Director Patel confirmed this ridiculous directive came directly from the Department of Justice, the same DOJ that's been weaponized against conservative Americans for years now. This wasn't an FBI initiative. This was the administrative state flexing its muscle over our law enforcement officers. This is what government overreach looks like, patriots. The deep state isn't just targeting citizens anymore. They're monitoring and controlling our own FBI agents. Thank God Director Patel had the backbone to say no. He directed FBI agents not to comply with this request. He recognized it for what it was, a data collection effort that could be used against agents who don't fall in line with whatever political agenda is being pushed from above. Let me tell you about the agent Congressman Mervyn mentioned. This hero chased down a violent criminal who had stabbed a family member and was crossing state lines to potentially harm someone else. And what happened when he got back to the office? He was told to write up his weekly accomplishments for some paper pusher who's never spent a day in the field. Is this what we want our FBI focused on? Paperwork instead of protection? The congressman was absolutely right to be concerned about where this information was going. Because let's be honest, this kind of information collection isn't about improving performance. It's about control. When you have agents reporting their activities up the chain to bureaucrats, it creates a paper trail that can be manipulated. Suddenly, an agent's worth isn't measured by their service to America. It's measured by arbitrary metrics designed by people pushing political agendas. Here's what's truly disturbing. When pressed on what happened to the information that was collected before Patel's stand-down order, he couldn't give a clear answer. He said, "I'll have to get back to you on that." That tells me this information could be anywhere in the system right now. Patriots, this is the deep state playbook. Create paperwork. Monitor the true patriots in law enforcement. Collect data that can be weaponized later against those who don't follow the narrative. We've seen this pattern over and over again. Now, I'll give credit where credit is due. Director Patel clearly understands the importance of actual law enforcement work. He committed to supporting high-intensity drug trafficking area operations and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children despite budget cuts. That's commendable. But this hearing reveals the ongoing battle between the field agents doing the real work of protecting America and the Washington bureaucrats who want to control them from behind desks. It's the same battle we're seeing everywhere in our government, the swamp versus the patriots. What's telling is that Representative Mervyn, who isn't even on our side politically, recognized something was deeply wrong here. He spoke directly with a retiring FBI agent who felt disrespected after risking his life to protect Americans. When both sides see the problem, you know it's real. The DOJ's behavior is everything wrong with big government. Instead of supporting the FBI's mission, they create administrative burdens that prevent agents from doing their actual jobs. They collect information that could be used to pressure those who don't align with whatever political agenda is sweeping through Washington. Ask yourself, why would the DOJ need weekly accomplishment reports from individual FBI agents? What purpose does that serve except surveillance and control? And if Director Patel felt it violated operational security to share this information, why was the DOJ requesting it in the first place? This is exactly why President Trump talked about draining the swamp. This is why we need accountability in our government agencies. This is why we need leaders who respect our law enforcement instead of treating them like employees at some Washington bureaucracy. And here's another bombshell from this hearing that no one's talking about. When asked about cuts to domestic terrorism operations and tracking systems, Director Patel said, "I'll have to get back to you on that." So while the DOJ is busy creating paperwork for our agents, they're apparently cutting resources for tracking actual threats. These backward priorities put all Americans at risk while expanding the administrative state's power. Let me be crystal clear. I want our FBI focused on catching dangerous criminals, stopping drug traffickers, rescuing children from predators, and preventing terrorist attacks. Not filling out weekly reports for some faceless bureaucrat at the DOJ who's never set foot in the field. Our brave men and women in law enforcement deserve better than this. They deserve leaders who will let them do their jobs without constant oversight and paperwork. They deserve our support and gratitude for putting their lives on the line every single day to keep us safe. Before I wrap up, I want to thank all of you patriots who support this channel. We're bringing you the stories the mainstream media refuses to cover. The stories that reveal what's really happening in our government. This exchange between Congressman Mervyn and Director Patel pulls back the curtain on the ongoing battle between those who serve America and those who seek to control her. If you found this information valuable, please share this video. The American people deserve to know what's happening behind closed doors in Washington. Remember, the only way we defeat the administrative state is through awareness, accountability, and action. Stay vigilant, patriots. Question everything. And never stop fighting for the America we love. This is Right View Nation, bringing you the truth they don't want you to hear. God bless America, and I'll see you in the next video.